On arrival at the Mladovec dog shelter, they were all examined and given medical attention. Specialists gave them cures from external and internal parasites. This cute little elephant was thrown by a herd. He got in trouble, injured his trunk, and became a burden for his relatives. Unfortunately, the wildlife world is harsh, and not many species can care for their herd's sick members. The kid was wildly scared when he was face to face with the world around him. But fortunately, he met the kind people who called officers from wildlife protection. They examined the elephant's trunk, fed it, and took it to their care. Now the elephant is not in danger. It is impossible to pass by a little puppy, especially if she is in trouble. This little girl was left locked up for a long time until a person passing by called in the guys from We Save Puppy. It took several hours for her to trust people. The puppy was constantly trembling with fear. But in the end, she was able to trust the person again, and the doctor examined her. This poor baby was covered in fleas and suffered from severe anemia. She was given deworming medicine and washed in a warm bath. The warmth of care and clean water relaxed her well, and after some time, she looked like a real beauty. Now, after half a year, this baby turned into a big and happy dog. Her name is Sandy, and she lives in a new family, and nothing else reminds her of her terrible childhood. Sometimes baby animals are lost, and often it becomes impossible to find their mother. This happened to this cute flying fox cub. Apparently, he broke away from his mother during flight, but turned out to be very lucky. Firstly, cats did not attack him, and fortunately no traces of wounds were found.
Go upstairs and warm you up a bit. What about that one? A little blue boy.
Besides, people noticed him in time and called a specialist from Megabatty. She immediately put him in a soft plush toy, and over this little flying fox, she tied a cloth imitating her mother's hug. The baby was given specialized glucose and the injection of fluids that was lost during the time away from her mother's care. Now we can be sure the flying fox got into good hands. Even dangerous wild animals sometimes require human help. This wild monitor lizard was stuck between two buildings, and inhabitants had to call specialists in order to help this poor fellow. Specialists wrapped the mouth of the monitor lizard with tape to safely remove it from this tight situation. They used a specialized hunting loop and managed to pull him onto the roof. The monitor lizard weighs quite a lot, and when moving around the roof of the house, one of the specialists fell through it. Fortunately, the house is one floor and everything went without serious injuries. Last December, a terrible incident occurred in southern Utah. Two bull elk were found with their horns tied in the edge of the forest. A message was received in the Utah Division of Wildlife, and a local environmental officer went to their rescue. Unfortunately, by that time, only one deer survived and got trapped there with his horn tied to his fellow. The officer, with the help of a lasso, caught his horn and tied it to a nearby tree to safely free the second horn. The operation was successful, and the rescued deer, with gratitude in his eyes, stood for some time in the place, and then he energetically returned to the forest. When we talk about saving animals, we shouldn't forget that they're rather closer to us than we may think. Do you want to know how intelligent the animals living near us are? I recommend you to watch the video, How Intelligent is Your Pet on Animal Like People channel. Subscribe to the channel. There's always something interesting and entertaining. See you next time. Hi there! Awesome Animals is here with you to show you 10 more stories of animal rescues that ended happily thanks to the people's wish to help. Just watch the heroes and try to be as kind as they were. So, let's get started. The people from Hope for Paws received a call about the dog that lived in the elementary school yard for about 9 months. People fed her, but she was scared of humans badly and needed food and help. The dog was afraid of approaching, and the rescuers spent a lot of time trying to tame her with food. When the woman caught her, she wasn't pleased with the fact at all and was struggling fiercely. She was wiped out and didn't want to come into the cage. At last, she let the woman take her into her arms and put her into the cage. In the center, the specialists did all the necessary things and tests. An X-ray showed that the poor thing was shot with a pellet gun several times, and it was the reason of her strong fear of humans. The doctors worked with her psychological condition because the dog still had problems dealing with people. 5 months later, Lilac, as she has now been named, was completely recovered and found her new loving owner. The surface of the reservoir is covered with ice and always carries many different dangers for animals. While on the ice, they can easily fall through, as well as slip and fail to get up. This happened with a small deer in the city of Grafton this winter. This baby deer slipped on ice and got stuck to it, even though being close to the shore. Firefighters went on ahead to rescue the poor baby deer. To prevent the animal from panicking, it was decided to approach from the side of the lake. The deer was helped to get out onto the ground, and we can also learn a lesson about the dangers of walking on ice. Usually, not only people fall under the wheels of a car, but animals too. And most often, these are dogs. This good-natured doggy was hit by a car, but he was able to crawl to the barn and hide. The witness of this incident called the guys from Animal Aid Unlimited India. They examined the guy, and it became clear that his hind legs had failed. The poor fellow could not stand. However, no fractures in the legs were found. The problem was the damage to the spine. The experts used all their strength, and the boy's recovery did not last long, less than 6 weeks. The doggy is very cheerful, and it is clear that he was waiting for a recovery day every minute. Mr. Kisses, that was the dog's name, was grateful to everyone for the opportunity to continue to live a full doggy life again. 3 kittens were abandoned in the rubble. The people from Rescue Kitty channel came to help, but it was a great challenge to dig them out in all that rotten wood. One of the rescuers had to clear the rubble for some time before it could get to the little kittens. The poor cuties were likely to be hungry for a long time and got very cold, and the rescuers had no idea if they were injured or not. The little creatures turned out to be okay, but really scared. Nobody knew why they had been there, and whether their mother was alive or not. The people put them onto the case and gave them milk. They were happy to get some food and calm down a bit. We can imagine what could have happened if the rescuers hadn't found them in time. For the sake of saving their offspring, animals can do a lot, even trust a person. And this is an excellent confirmation. This clever mother dog lived in a pipe with her 3 4-week-old puppies near the regional route. She always ran out of the pipe at the side of a man. She was waiting for help. And one fine day, there was a call to Dog Rescue Shelter Mladovec, and they went to help. The mom dog immediately went to them, and they read "help" in her eyes. Initially, the guys hoped that the puppies would follow their mother, but they were very small and too scared. So they put the mom in the car, and they had to push the puppies with a stick on one side of the pipe and catch on the other. One by one, they grabbed all 3 puppies. After successfully rescuing the puppies from the pipe, they were immediately given to their mother, and she began to feed them.